So in the previous class, we have gone through various types of loads acting on the roof truss and load combinations to be considered for the design of roof truss. And then we have seen analysis of various methods for analysis of roof truss. Today we'll solve an example of a pin type roof truss for an industrial building having overall length 48 meter, overall width 16.5 meter. The width that is center to center of roof column is 16 meter. The center to center spacing of the truss is 8 meter. The rise of the truss is 1/4 of the span. The self weight of the purlin is 318 Newton per meter. Height of the column is 11 meter. And the roofing and side covering shall be done using asbestos cement sheet having dead load of 171 Newton per meter square. The building is located in the industrial area Naini, Allahabad. Both the ends of the roof truss are hinged and use Fe410 grade of steel. So let us solve this. So you have 48 meter by 16 meter length of the area of the shop. So let us say this is 16 meter. This is 48 meter. And the spacing of the truss is 8 meter. So you will have 6 plus 1, 7 truss will be there. Each of this will be 8 meter. And the overall width of the shop is 16.5 meter. So you will have 0.5 meter projection on both sides, but the width that is center to center of roof column, so columns are here. actually the overall width is 16.5. So you will have some projections. Size of the roof truss is 1/4 of the span. Weight of purlin is 318 Newton per meter, and height of the column is 11 meter. So let us first see the truss configuration. You have been given a pin type truss. Okay, so let alpha be the inclination of the roof with horizontal, inclination of roof with horizontal. So here pitch is given to you, that is 1/4, that is the rise, actually the rise is given, which is 1/4 of the span. So pitch is actually 1/4. So let this be alpha. Here the supports are hinge. This is 16 meter. We have been given the rise. This 1/4 of 16, 1/4 of the span. So that is 4 meter. So this alpha will be equal to 10 alpha is equal to 4 by 16 by 2. Okay. This is 4 meter and this is 8 meter. So it will be equal to 26.565 26.56, let us say 6 degrees. This alpha is 26.566 degree. So you can find the length of principal rafter. The length of this principal rafter will be this 8 square plus this 4 square. Point 94. So this length is 8.94. Same is for this also. Now let us designate this as L0, L1 L2, L3, L4, L5. They are the lower chord points, lower chord numbers. Similarly, we call this as U1, U2, U3. Wait a minute, there is one more number here. U3, U4, U5, U6, U7. So these are the upper chord points. So length of each panel length of each panel will be equal to 8.94 divided by 4. These are all actually equal. So it will be equal to 8.94 divided by 4, that is 2.235. So this length is 2.235. Meter. For all members, it is upper chord members. Okay. So with this, we have defined our truss configuration, that is truss geometry. Now, next is to calculate the load. First is dead load. Assume sulfate of bracings equals to 12 Newton per meter square. Then dead load of AC sheets, which is given in the data, 171 Newton per meter square. That is the roofing material. 171 Newton per meter square. That is given. Then assume sulfate of truss by formula which we have studied in theory class, that is span length plus 5 into whole multiplied by 10 Newton per meter square. This is just for the approximation. Exact sulfate will be found after we design the member. So just to have the approximate uh, consideration of the self-weight of the roof truss, we use this formula. This will be 103.33. Next, self-weight of the purlin. Which is again given in the data. Self-weight of the purlin is 318 Newton per meter. Newton per meter it is, that is T1. So for per meter it will be T18 into 8. 2544 Newton. 2544 Newton. It is the total load self-weight of the purlin. So we have to convert this in either you can convert this in kilonewton per meter square by dividing the plan area, or simply multiply these loads with the plan area and then add them. You will get the total load in kilonewton. So now panel length is 2.235 is 2.235. So the plan length of this panel length in plan will be 2.235 cos alpha, that is 2.235 multiplied by cos 26.566 degree. So that will be 2 meter. Okay. What it means that the plan length of this panel is 2 meter for each of them. If you see it in plan, so this is total is 8 meter, and each of these panel points are 2 meter. Now we find the load on each panel point. So load on this panel point will be half from this panel. Load on this panel point will be half from this panel point and half from this panel point. Similarly, load on this panel point, half load from this side, half load from this side. Okay, half load from this side, half load from this side. Similarly, for this panel, half load from this side, half load from this side. For this panel point, half load from the right. Similarly, here, half load from here, half load from here. For this, again half load from here, half load from here. So these intermediate points, they are the full panel points, and these are the half panel points. So load on each intermediate panel point due to dead load. See, that is intermediate panel points means half full panel point. Full panel points. We also represent this by FPP. Okay. Due to dead load, it will be equal to +12 plus 171 plus 103 133. Now all these loads, these dead loads are acting in gravity direction. They are acting in downward direction. Okay, so they are on half plan area. So these are on half plane area. On plan area. Okay, this is also on plan area. This is also on plan area. So multiply it with the plan area. So half plan area will be 8 8. Okay, the spacing between the two trusses is 8 meter. So half of the load from the left and half of the load from the right. So total 8 meter, and the panel point width is 2 meter. Plus 2544. So this will give you the total load on the panel points. Let us first total load due to total load on the panels due to dead load. So this will be 12 plus 171 plus 2. That is let us again take an approximation. Let us say this is 110 Newton per meter square. Just to have the round figure, 110 Newton per meter square. This will be 110. This will be 7232. This is the total load on the intermediate panels. So in kilonewton, 7 point, let us say 7.4 kilonewton. Again we are rounding it. This is full panel point load. Similarly, the half panel point load will be half of this, that is 3.7 kilonewtons. This is half panel point, this is full panel point for the dead load. Full panel point load, full panel point load. Here also, since it is on plan area, half load from this side, half load from this side, so this will be full panel point. This will also be full panel point, full panel point, full panel point, and this will be half panel point. FPP is the full panel point and HPP is the half panel point. This is for the dead load. Similarly, for the live load, we have to find the loads on each panel point. Now here we have a pitch roof with an inclination. Here alpha is 26.566 degree. So the live load is given by 750 minus 20 into alpha minus 10, okay, or simply alpha minus 10 into 20, alpha minus 10 into 20. This is the formula. Here we have used alpha instead of theta because our slope is more than 10 degree. So we have to use the reduced live load area, reduced live load. So this will be 750 minus 26.566 minus 10 into 20. So this comes out to be 750 minus 26.566 minus 10. So it is 418.68. 418.68 Newton per meter square. Again, this is more than 400 Newton per meter square. So we'll consider this value. So we can find the load on each panel point. The load on each intermediate panels will be equal to 418.68 multiplied by 8 into 2, that is the plan area. So this will be 6698.88 Newton. Let us say 6.7 kilonewton. This is the full panel point load due to live load. Okay, this is due to live load. Full panel point load due to live load. This is full panel point load due to dead load. This is half panel point load due to dead load. Same way, half panel point load due to live load will be 6.7 by 2, that is 3.35 kilonewton. Okay, so we have dead load, live load. Now third is wind load. So let us find the wind load. Let us assume the life of the building be 50 years. Assume life of structure equals to 50 years. Okay. Terrain, plain terrain. Because these things are not given in the data, so you have to assume that plain terrain surrounded by small building. So with this, your K1 factor is 1 for 50 years. K2 is 0.89. This is for terrain category 3 and building height 11 meter, which is given in the data, and K3 is equal to 1 for plain terrain. Now the building is located in Allahabad. Building is located in Naini, Allahabad. So the basic wind speed there you can obtain from 875, that is 47 meter per second. Okay, for zone 3. This part of the uh, site is located in zone 3. Okay, Naini, Allahabad is located in zone 3, so the basic wind speed is 47 meter per second. So design wind speed VD or VZ will be K1, K2, K3 times VB 1.0, 0.89, 1.0 into 47. So this is 41.83 meter per second. So you can find design wind pressure, design wind pressure PD is equal to 0.6 Vz square, 0.6 into 41.83 square. So this will be 1049.8 meter per meter square. Let us say 1.05 kilometer per meter square. Now here the height of the column is height of column above ground level is 11 meter. And width of building W is 16 meter. So your H by W ratio is 11 by 16, that is 0.6875. So this is lying between. So here H by W is lying between 1 by 2 to 3 by 2. So here H by W is 0.6875, which is greater than 1 by 2 but less than 3 by 2, that is 0.5 and less than 0.75. Okay, so we have to look into this category of the table in IS 875, and here alpha is 26.566 degree. So for this data you will get the value of coefficients, external pressure coefficient, external pressure coefficients CPE equals to minus 0.37 for windward side, and equal to minus 0.8 for leeward side. This is CPE. Okay. This you can obtain from IS 875. Just let us see this. We are using the older code. New code is available, so you can modify the wind load accordingly. But just to understand the application of wind load on truss, we are using the old code. But in the same line of action, you can use the new code. See here, the life of the structure is assumed 50 years. Life of the structure is assumed 50 years. So your K1 is 1. Then for terrain category 3 and height of the structure between height of the structure 11 meter, the value is 0.87. For point terrain category 3 and for K3 value is 1. Now we have to find the wind force using this formula CPE minus CPI times this effective frontal area times design wind pressure. So in our case, H by W ratio is between 1 by 2 and 3 by 2. Okay. So we'll have then L by W is, in our case, it is 48 by 16, that is 3. So it is lying in this case. So wait a minute. This is for rectangular plated building. This we have to see. In our case, this is for the pitched roof. This is for the flat roof. So for pitched roof, between you have to interpolate the value between 20 and 30. So so you will get the value as two values as minus 0.37 and minus 0.8 for the leeward case and windward case. Okay. See on the this is interpolating this value, you will get minus 0.8 for the leeward side, and for the windward side you have to interpolate the value between this as well as this, and whichever is the severe, you have to take that. Then now we have the external pressure coefficient. Similarly, we have to find the internal pressure coefficient also. So for that, let us assume building to have normal permeability. So again, for internal pressure coefficient, so is buildings with medium and large opening. Uh, Buildings with medium and large opening may be exhibited either positive or negative internal pressure depending upon the direction of the wind. The buildings with medium opening, about 5 to 20% of the wall area. The internal pressure coefficient for that case shall be plus 0.5 and plus or minus 0.5. Similarly, this is for the large opening area, and for buildings with opening less than 5%, this in case of buildings where claddings and airflow are not more than 5%. So in case of less than 5%, the wall there are no large openings. So the internal pressure coefficient for that case is plus or minus 0.2. That means opening less than 5%. The value of CPI should be taken as plus or minus 0.2. This is for both windward and leeward case. Both windward and leeward side. So we can now find the wind force is equal to CPE minus CPI AE, that is effective frontal area, times PD. This is minus 0.8 minus 0.2. Effective frontal area will be 8 into 2.235 multiplied by 1.05 is the design wind pressure. Now wind load will act on slope area. It will not act on plan area. So you will have to take the slope area. So slope area will be 2.235 multiplied by 8, where 8 is this half load from, if you consider the intermediate truss, then half load from this side and half load from this side. So this is 8 meter. wind load will be minus 18.774 kilonewton. Let us say 18.8 kilonewton. Minus indicates it is uplift. Okay. Means it is suction case. Positive means it is a pressure case. So this is on the leeward side. Similarly, on the windward side, wind force will be CPE minus CPI AE PD. So this is minus 0.37 minus 0.2 multiplied by 8 into 2.235 multiplied by 1.05. So this will be minus 10.71 kilonewton. Here note that if we take the positive value of this, then also this will be this will be negative. So there is no pressure case on both sides, leeward side as well as windward side. So on both leeward side as well as windward side, we have suction case only. So let us say this is minus 10.8 kilonewton. This is also uplift. That is suction case. So now we can find the half panel point and full panel point load. So on leeward side, full panel point load will be equal to minus 18.8 divided by 8 divided by this is the full panel point load 18.8 kilometer, and half panel point load will be equal to minus 18.8 by 2, that is minus 9.4 kilonewton. Now note that in case of wind load is acting normal to the road. So in case of wind load, you will have different half panel and full panel point load. So in case of wind load, suction means it is acting upward. And on this side it will be this way. So this is half panel point, this is full panel point, this is full panel point, this is full panel point, this is half panel point, half panel point, full panel point, full panel point, full panel point, and this will be half panel point. Because this will have load from this much part only, whereas this part will have load from both sides. This will have load from both sides, this will have load from both sides, this will have load from this side only. Similarly, this will have load from this side, this will have load from both sides, load from both sides, load from both sides, and this will have load one side only. Whereas in case of gravity load, that is dead load and live load, half load from this side, half load from this side, whereas all other panel points are full panel points. Okay, so this is for the leeward side. The full panel point load is 18.8 kN and half panel point is 9.4. Similarly, for the windward side, full panel point load is minus 10.8 kN and half panel point load is 10.8 by 2, that is 5.4 kN. Okay, so let's stop here, and in the next class we'll continue this example. If you have any doubt, we can discuss now.